when that treasure is discovered, the world will be turned upside down. These were the words the great pirate Whitebeard said in chapter 576 right before his iconic "One Piece is real" meme. We're 1121 chapters into the story and it feels like we're finally getting the glimpse of the end. The board is set. All the pieces are there. The only thing left is to see the pieces sort themselves out in One Piece. And guys, this is the idea behind today's video. We're gonna be using Vegapunk's speech and the events of the Egghead arc as a basis to speculate how the story is going to go from here on out. But first, we're gonna start with the name of the chapter. It translates to the ebb and flow of the ages. The official translation has it as the upheaval of the era. Both mean the same thing, but the former sounds cooler, so let's go with that. Now, if you haven't noticed already, this statement is a part of Gol D's Roger legendary quote, which was first mentioned in chapter 100, and it goes like this: "An inherited strength of will, one's dreams, the ebb and flow of the ages. As long as people hunger for freedom, these things shall never cease to be." Now we have chapter 145, which is titled Inherited Will, and in that chapter is where Hilulik says that a man dies when he is forgotten. Chapter 225 is titled One's Dreams, and this is where Blackbeard declares that a man's dream will never die. Finally, there is the ebb and the flow of the ages, the title of the current chapter. Vegapunk declares that there is no stopping the tide. The fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece. Of course, it can be considered a reach if we look too deep into it, but the themes and the messaging has always remained consistent when it comes to One Piece. If we overlap the titles of the chapters with what is told in the chapters, we can then formulate an idea of what One Piece's endgame is looking like. A man dies when he is forgotten, which means as long as the man's will has been inherited, he won't die. A man's dream never dies means that the dreams themselves are eternal. The world's fate resting in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece is the destiny of age taking its natural course. In simpler words, the time has come for the world to be turned upside down, and as Whitebeard said, no one will be able to stop it. No one. This is the ebb and the flow of the ages. When you look at everything holistically, you'll understand just how deeply the story of One Piece connects with these ideas. So of course, the One Piece itself will also be something along these lines, right? In the final spread of chapter 1121, we were treated to a battle royale style of all the major players in the Final Saga. Vegapunk has said that it all depends on who finds the One Piece, which means that it isn't just about the pirates anymore. The fate of the world itself depends on the treasure. This is the war Whitebeard was talking about when he said that a giant battle will engulf the entire world and the world will be shaken to its core. This is something that goes beyond God Valley or Marine Ford for that case. The real war is the ancient battle that is still ongoing even after 800 years. The upcoming giant battle is both going to be the conclusion of that ancient war as well as the transition to the inevitable dawn of the entire world. When we look at the Straw Hats, they already have 3 poneglyphs. The man with the burn scar is the one who holds the last poneglyph, and there's simply no way that the silhouette in the double spread is not this character. Guys, let me say that again. He has the last poneglyph that no one has been able to get for decades. So of course he is important to the race to the One Piece and therefore deserves to be mentioned in the double spread. But who knows? Maybe the burn scar is also Shanks' evil twin brother and he is also the world's government agent. But for what it's worth, the silhouette in that panel is definitely of the burn scar fellow. But the real question is, where is he? Believe it or not, this question was tackled in the first chapter of the Road to Laugh Tale booklet. It says that the last poneglyph can be on Elbaf, Hanshiso, or Vira. It can't be Hanshiso because that's where the Blackbeard pirates were talking about the burn scar with Kuzan a year ago. If it was the same island, they would have simply got that poneglyph by now. It could be Elbaf, but then that means Shanks already has 3 road poneglyphs. In fact, he might as well already have all 4 because he knows that there's one on Zou too. So I'd say that Vira seems the most likely out of the 3 options simply because we know the least about this place and also because there must be a reason why Oda chose this island in specific to include as a possible next to Elbaf and Hanshiso. The island was first mentioned in chapter 228 when Nami read Mont Blanc Nolan's logbook. That was 400 years ago and Nolan described it as a sunny town, but Oda elaborated in the SBS that Vira is now a dangerous country country in the middle of extreme political turmoil. But that's as far as we know. What do you guys think? Is the Burnt Scar fellow using the small nation's instability to hide in plain sight all this time? Or will we really find him somewhere on Elbaf or Hanshiso? Let me know your thoughts down below, because personally I think it's going to be Vira, considering how the other two islands are already connected with two different emperors. We also have to keep in mind that no one has been able to get this road poneglyph for a long time, and as Shiru speculated in chapter 1081, the Burnt Scar fellow could be the government's man. Now, going back to the thematic relevance between Roger's quote and the story of One Piece, let's use Vegapunk's speech to try and understand what exactly the great treasure could be. Vegapunk himself clearly doesn't know, but judging from the facts he laid out, we can assume that the One Piece is about turning the world upside down in a literal sense. We know that the world is going to sink. We know that Joy Boy is responsible for passing down the ancient weapons to the future generations, and we also know that the reason why Roger said they were there too early is because the ancient weapon Poseidon hadn't been born yet. Also, do you remember how in chapter 1040 Big Mom said that some of the One Piece is in Wano too? And what is in Wano? The ancient weapon Pluton. Now, there is only one way to put it all together. The ancient weapons are not only necessary, but they are part of the One Piece itself. As Robin said, real poneglyph is what you get if you carry the message from all the poneglyphs to the final island. It is the text that tells the true history. We can assume that something in this history is what made Roger laugh, and we can also assume that this text had instructions on how to activate whatever the One Piece is, because Roger realized that they are there too early. At the end of their journey, Roger was a bit sentimental. Rayleigh reminded him of the promise that they made when they first met, and Roger specifically asked Rayleigh if he wants to turn the world upside down with him. Roger now wonders if that promise was fulfilled. Rayleigh says yes, but remember, this was before Roger's death. He had become the Pirate King, but it isn't until after he kickstarts the Great Pirate Era that a significant change is brought to the world. Now, as most of us already know, Luffy is going to surpass both Roger and Joy Boy. The ancient weapons and the One Piece are the means, the real poneglyph is the instructions, and the end result is, as Whitebeard said, the world being turned upside down. We don't know Luffy's true dream, but what we do know is that it is impossible, because even Luffy's own crewmates, the people who would die for him, do not believe that it's possible. But one thing's for certain is that the ancient weapons and the One Piece can do whatever is this impossible thing that Luffy wants to do. Of course, Roger and Joy Boy had the same dream, but one thing I'd point out is that it isn't something grand or noble or anything like that at all. Because if it was, the reactions of the Straw Hat Pirates to Luffy's dream would have been more consistent. So it has to be something silly, especially because Luffy was just a little kid when he first revealed his dream. He didn't know about the Red Line, the evil world government, or any of that super complicated stuff. He was just a kid who liked pirates and wanted to do something crazy after becoming the Pirate King. While we don't know what it could be, what we do know is that even people like Whitebeard called Roger crazy for thinking of something so dumb. So all in all, it's intended to be impossible. But with the ancient weapons and the One Piece, as well as the story that is waiting for them at Laugh Tale, Luffy will be able to achieve that dream. And honestly, I love the imagery and the symbolism in this chapter. The ebb and the flow of things, Even though this ancient battle has been going on for 800 years, the Lunarians, the Three-Eyed Tribe, and the Buccaneers still exist in the form of King, Pudding, and Kuma. We may not know the specifics, but what we do know is that it's exactly as Roger said, an inherited strength of will, one's dreams, the ebb and flow of the ages. As long as people hunger for freedom, these things shall never cease to be. And with all of that being said, let me know, what do you guys think? I'm sure you have a lot to add, so let's continue this conversation in the comments below. If this video takes off, we'll do another video which would explain how the upcoming Great Battle Royale is going to play out. So stay tuned, because we still have a lot to look forward to from this story, and I also don't think that the broadcast is over yet. We still don't know why Vegapunk had everyone set up their video snails after all, so at the very least, we're gonna get some true diabolical imagery at the end of the broadcast. Anyways, enough from me. Smash that subscribe button if you guys want to see some more One Piece content. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.